Hi, and welcome to the Student Officer Leadership Training for Yale Connect, presented by the Yale College Dean's Office. This session is your guide to navigating the platform and managing your organization. We'll start with an overview of what Yale Connect is and the features available to you. Then we'll take a deep dive into the most important functions of the platform. So Yale Connect is powered by campus groups, and Yale Connect is the Yale University's community engagement and event management platform. Groups are individual communities within Yale Connect and are officially recognized by campus entities. Simply speaking, if your group is on Yale Connect, you are a Yale recognized RSO. All right, and we'll go ahead and we'll transition into a demo of Yale Connect. All right, so on the Yale Connect landing page, you can navigate to the group that you manage by going to the Groups drop-down at the top menu. To select it, and you'll see that the group for which you are a group officer will have a little gear icon next to it, and that means that we'll go into the back end of the group to manage your group's membership and content. In this example, I'm the group officer of the Cheese Society. All right, so from the Cheese Society's dashboard, there's a couple things that we want to point out. Under the Settings menu, you'll find the basic settings and configuration for your group, including group information like your mission, your goals, your logo, and your constitution. You'll also find tabs up here at the top for contact information and access and privacy. All right, and from there, underneath the settings, we can head on over to group officers. In group officers, you can actually assign group officers by just going up here to add officer in the right-hand menu. You can also use the permissions button to select the permissions for which group officers have. You can also change the notifications that the group officers will experience or receive as managers of the group. All right, and just below that, we can go to members. And here under members, we can just come up to add member to add members to our group. We'll also see any members that have pending validations or who have requested to join your group up at the top menu. You can just go ahead and click on new members and see the members that have requested to join your group and just simply hit validate. All right, so that's just how you can manage your officers and your members, but there's many other modules as well that we'll want to take a look at. One of those being the events. Now, when I select the events module, I'm taken to the upcoming events list. And in the Cheese Society, I don't have any upcoming events now. But if I want to go ahead and create an event, I just select the Create Event button up at the top right. And I'll just select Blank Event Template. Okay, so there's a couple things that I want to point out to you as a registered student organization. You'll notice that if you're planning to book a room using the 25 Live integration in your event details, right here where it says book rooms, you will see rooms that are available. And those available rooms could include rooms that already have pending requests. So just know that you may or may not get approval for the room that you've requested. All right, so if we just come up here to the top, and I'll go ahead and I'll demo what that looks like. Just going to give my event a name, a description, an event type, and I'm going to give it a start and end date. And I'm just making all this up for just our demonstration. And then under where, I'm just going to put the number of attendees that I expect. So here I'm just going to say 25. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say book rooms, which will integrate with the 25 Live room booking system and show me the available rooms that I have to book from. And if I wanted one of these rooms, I just select book from the right over here. Once I booked a room, or if I had booked a room, you would see a pending status right next to the book rooms button. The pending status lets us know that in 25 Live, the room still needs approval from the registrar's office. So you won't have official approval of your room until you see approved and receive an email from the registrar's office that they've approved your room request. Okay. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to point out, let's just go down here. If you've filled out all the details of your event, once you're done, you'll select the button Create Event and proceed to Approval Form. Now, all the event details that we just went up over here above are things that everyone in Yale Connect, all groups, have to fill out. But as a registered student organization, you'll select the green button and actually proceed to an approval form where you'll fill out more information that's required by the student organization's office. Okay, so that's creating your events. Another module you might want to check out are the surveys and forms. And in the surveys and forms, you can just select the little purple button at the top right to say create, And some things that you might want to do is create, feedback surveys or use a form to hold an election for your group. There's many ways that you might want to use this feature, and share the link to the former survey that you've created. Another module is the emails module. And in here, you can actually compose an email to send to members of your group, and then use the left-hand menu to show tracking for that email and delivery status. So you might send your emails to your group members to let them know about upcoming events or information relevant to the group, or you can even create newsletters using this feature. Okay, and then another one is files. So files is really handy because you can use it to store important information such as banking documents or tax forms or budgets or any files that you want to share within your group or among your group officers. You can also create new folders and set permissions to those folders so that only the specific members that you want to be able to have access to those files, you can, fix that. Okay. Websites. So every group has the ability to create and customize pages for an external site. You'll see the link at the top for your external site. And by default, all websites for each group are turned on. So if you're not looking to have a website, you can just go to website settings, and under publish website, just select no and save. Otherwise, feel free to go ahead and click on the pages and customize the content that you want on your website. All right, so those are some of the core modules, but I did just want to point out that under the dashboard, if you select group page, and this always takes a minute to load, but when you select group page, you'll be taken to the page that your group members see and that external members will see. So once it loads, I'll just show you where you can configure access to the content that you've created in your dashboard. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is what folks who are members or maybe not even members yet of your group would see. They would see latest officers postings as well as any upcoming events that you have. But I just want to point out up at the top menu, you have control over the drop-down tabs. So events or documents or any of the other modules that you want folks to have access to. You can customize that by selecting settings and checking off what tabs you want your members to have access to. Just remember to check off the tabs that you want them to, or configure their settings at the little wrenches. And whatever you've made changes to, just make sure to hit save at the bottom. All right, so that is managing the core modules of your group. Thank you for completing this training.